Hey guys, I'm gonna chill out with Sub-07 and welcome back to Let's Play Pokemon FireRed and LeafGreen. Last episode we got our first Pokemon, got our Pokedex, and we were told to set off for adventure, and in this episode we're gonna do just that. Now last time we didn't really cover the bios of the Pokemon that we could encounter in Route 1, and I'm going to try and fix that. As you might notice on the left and right parts of the screen, we have stuff detailing what Pokemon you can find in what area of the game that we're currently in, so I'm gonna regret this, but let's get to those bios. First and foremost, of course, is Rattata. It's the run-of-the-mill normal type that you can always find at the start of each game. It's basic, not very useful for later on in the game. It starts out decent enough. Most normal types have a wide range of moves they can learn, but really, you're not going to need a Rattata for much, and I don't really recommend you get one anyway. The most it'll be useful for is like having something that's good for learning moves you need to progress later on. And the thing we just saw right there is Pidgey, the other thing that we need to progress through the game. Everyone knows Pidgey. It's the original bird. There's birds everywhere in Pokemon, and there's always a bird at the start of every generation. Pidgey is surprisingly decent. It's not my personal favorite pick for an early game bird type. I'm still partial to Staraptor from Generation 4, but its Final Evolution Pidgeot I think is a decent enough Pokemon. Flying normal type is a fairly average type. It has a couple weaknesses, not too bad. So if you really want a normal type like this, I think you could do worse. It's easy to get early on, and you can have it for most of the adventure. Why not? Though I think we're going to go for a little bit of a different approach. We're also going to just take out this Pidgey, I guess, because why not? Could use some experience. Something I should also mention is that if you press select on a move... Oh, that's the Game Boy player pressing Z. Whoops. If I press select on a move, I can switch it with the position of another move by pressing select again on the other move. It's not something that really gets talked about too much, but it's a neat little thing you can do, I guess. And let's finish you off. There we go. More experience points for Emperor. Now, we're kind of low on health right now, which is not that useful, but since we're right near Viridian City, that's fine, because Viridian City has a Pokemon Center. These are your best friend, because they're like hotels in most RPGs, except they don't cost money. Welcome to our Pokemon Center. Would you like to heal your Pokemon back to perfect health? Yes, please. Okay, I'll take your Pokemon for a few seconds. So yes, this is a full heal that will cure any status ailments and fully heal all of your Pokemon. It is the best thing for any adventure. Hope to see you again. And you will be using them a lot, so get used to seeing them. Now if we head up here again... Oh, it looks like that old man finally woke up. I go shopping in Pewter City occasionally. I have to take care of the winding trail in Viridian Forest when I go. Well, now I've had my coffee, and that's what I need to get going. Now, everyone knows this old man. Originally, in the original script, he was actually passed out drunk on the floor, and he needed to get some... I don't remember what it was. It might have been tea to wake him up, but that might have been... I might be thinking of something else later on in the game, but in this game, it's just he was tired and he wanted his coffee. And that's what I need to get going. What's that red box you have? Oh, so you're working on your Pokedex. Now let me give you a word of advice. Whenever you catch a Pokemon, the Pokedex automatically updates its data. You don't know how to catch a Pokemon? I suppose I'd better show you then. And when you look at that, it's the mandatory catching tutorial of the game, where he just randomly finds a Weedle. We're not going to cover this because we'll be covering it in a few minutes, but it's a Pokemon, I guess. Pretty much our first instance of a bug type, I guess, so that's noteworthy, I guess. Bug types were not super useful in Generation 1. They got better in later gens. I'd want to say Gen 2 was where we started getting good ones, but it was only Gen 4 onward where we started getting really good ones. As you can see, Pokeball, when you throw it at Pokemon, it has to shake 3 times and click in order to show that it's captured. If it doesn't, and it like freezes up after shaking, that means the Pokemon's gonna break free. There. Now tell me, that was educational, was it not? And here, take this too. Ah yes, the TGTV. This is a thing they added for FireRed LeafGreen. It's not useful, really. It's just like the most basic of tutorials for you in case you have no idea how to play any RPG in your entire life. But Pokemon teaches you pretty alright anyway, so it doesn't really matter. If there's something you don't understand, watch that. It will teach you about the basics of being a Pokemon trainer. I don't recommend you use it because it's not super useful and there's no benefit to using it, but anyway. There's another place we can go outside of just going straight north past where that old man was. We can actually go this way to Route 22. Yeah, you're not supposed to be here until later, but you can access this early on if you want. And there's actually some other Pokemon we can find here, like... come on, game, give me something to work with. Ugh, more rats. Yuck, of course. Of course it'd be more rats. But no, there's two Pokemon we can encounter here that we have not seen before, so we'll be covering those right now. And the first of those is Mankey, our first instance of a fighting-type Pokemon. Fighting types are... Until Generation 4, they were purely physical attackers. That was their only shtick, and that was all you had going for them, but they were kind of useful. In Mankey's case, it's very fast. Like, this is... If I recall correctly, this is the fastest fighting type in the game, and it is pretty fast in general. That's pretty much all it can do, though, is go fast and hit. That's all it knows, but for what it's worth, it does its job pretty well. And if you want a fighting type, be my guest. It's good on a couple of tough defensive types, and it's good on normal types as its only weakness. You could do worse than Mankey. Anyways, there is one other Pokemon that we can also encounter here that I'm going to try and get show up, but it might take a bit for them to pop in. Because they're kind of low encounter rate. Yeah, we might be here a while. I guess I'll probably cut ahead to when we find them. Oh my god. 10% encounter rate, my ass. Jesus. Anyway, this is what I've been after. This is Spearow. Spearow, if you don't know, is another example of a normal flying type. Unlike Pidgeot, though, it evolves into Fearow. It is more offense-oriented, actually, and in my opinion, is a much better bird. Its final stats evolution, or final stats for its final evolution, are actually pretty alright for an early game bird, and surprisingly, it's got its uses. It's pretty fast, it's got good attack power. I think I want this for my team because I've done the math. Oh, sweet Jesus. Don't you dare. Oh, God. I swear to God. Okay. Well, I have this potion for a reason. Let's use it. As I was saying, though, I've done the math. The team that I want to use for this playthrough is kind of imbalanced in a sense because a lot of the good Pokemon you get in Generation 1, you get after a very specific point I've noticed, and that point is after... I want to say the third gym or so, and that's where more than half of my team comes from, so I want this guy, or girl in this instance, to make it a bit less lopsided. Let's toss a Pokeball, and please get in this. Lower held the better chance of catching a Pokemon, of course. Yes! First try! And would you look at that? We got our first Pokemon. And of course, when you catch a new Pokemon that you've never caught before, your data is added to the Pokedex. Spearow, the tiny Pokemon. It's only a foot tall. Eats bugs in grassy areas. It has to flap its short wings at high speed to stay airborne. It doesn't really show much in this game, but it makes more sense in something like XD Gale of Darkness, or I guess later Pokemon games where they actually show 3D sprites. You have a nickname for the captured Spearow? I don't actually have a nickname picked out for Spearow right now. I would love to see you guys' input on this, because I just could not for the life of me come up with one when I was thinking about this in my practice. If you guys come up with anything interesting, I'll be sure to credit you for it, though, because, hey, it'd be cool to kind of do something like that. But for now, let's head back and heal, because, my goodness, we are low on health. Both of us. Alright, actually heading back here, let's take a look at our Spearow real fast, see what they've got going on. What's your story? You have a rash nature. Rash, what does that do? Okay, that's an indifferent nature to us. That's plus special attack, minus special defense. Not useful for us, since Spearow's primarily a physical attacker, but it could have been worse. But for now, I think we're just going to use this spot to do a bit of grinding, actually, because there's actually an optional rival battle you can do here. You can only do this if you actually do this before you get to the next gym, so keep that in mind, but it is a nice little place to test your skills. He will have a new Pokemon up his sleeve, though, so be careful. I'm going to grind up a bit, though, so I will catch you guys in just a minute, unless something interesting happens. Oh, look at that damage. And we're back. Okay, sorry about that. Grinding took a bit longer than I thought, but the whole team is up to level 8. Why would I get to level 8, you may ask? Well, I actually have a purpose for that. I'm aware that the levels that we're going to be encountering for this are level 9 for our rivals, so I just want to be kinda close. Didn't want to over-level, though. And I have Emperor out front because, well, I trust him for what's up ahead. Okay, nothing over there, I believe. And if we walk this way, Hey, Kyle, you're off to the Pokemon League? Forget about it. Forget about it. You probably don't have any badges, do you? Lagar won't let you through without them. By the way, did your Pokemon get any stronger? And then it just challenges you to a fight out of nowhere. So yeah, over there is the entrance of the Pokemon League, which you need all 8 gym badges across the Kanto region in order to access. You can't get anywhere without even one of them. And of course, Gary starts out with his newfound Pidgey. But we're leading with Emperor. Why would I do this when Grass is actually weak to flying? Because I want to try and use Leech Seed. This might not work because they're kicking sand in my eyes, but we'll try it anyway. There we go, that's what I like to see. This will be a useful tactic as Leech Seed will slowly drain their health and give us back any damage we sustain, which is kind of nice. Probably not going to land this hit, but we can try anyway. Now, Pidgey actually learns his first flying attack at level 10, so I also wasn't worried that he'd be hitting me anytime soon. So that's why I figured it would be safe to have Emperor out front. Right, come on, just get some good tackles in, that's what I like to see. But yeah, so long as you know what's ahead, you should be fine. You know he has a Pokemon that's good against your starter, so if you have something else with you, it'll help ease up the pain in this fight. Because trust me, you don't do one Pokemon by itself in this region. You can do that for other games, but maybe not for this one, at least to start. It's annoying. That's a lot of experience, though, since we actually won a trainer battle. You get more experience fighting trainers Pokemon than you do fighting wild Pokemon, so keep that in mind. One stat across the board except for HP, not bad. And he's about to send his Charmander in, so I'm going to switch out. I would have liked to Leech Seed him, but we're kind of low on health, and I don't know if we'll survive his move because Charmander at level 9 has a fire move, Ember, which will do a lot of damage to us. So instead, we're just going to Leer. I kind of guess to counter his Growl. Didn't think he'd actually go for that. I thought he'd attack me first. Okay, he's going for Scratch instead. I'm surprised he didn't go for Ember because when you use a move that is the same type as the type your Pokemon is, you actually get same type attack bonus or Stab, which is pretty useful, and I recommend doing it as much as you can. Ow, we are low on health. Okay, now I don't have to finish it. Thankfully, I bought extra potions in the event that we needed them, so we can just use this. I also bought antidotes because where we're going soon, we're going to need a lot of antidotes. Antidotes cure your poison status, which we're going to be running into quite a bit early game, so watch out. Give another round of Scratch, but with Peck, you are done. Nice. Oh, what? You just lucked out. Yeah, I don't know about that, Gary. I think you just suck. I heard the Pokemon League is crawling with tough trainers. I have to figure out how to get past them. You should quit dawdling and get a move on. Well, he's right, I was dawdling, but that's because I was also getting stronger than him. Which, yeah, you can't even get here without hopping over this way. And you can't even get past the main entrance with the guard there without having the gym badges. So, don't bother. We'll be back here much later. It's not the last you'll see of this place. And unfortunately, it's not the last we'll be seeing of Gary either. We're going to be running into him a lot. But we're actually going to head up this way and round this corner because we have an item right here. That tree we couldn't actually pass through without having a special move for it. Well, here, we find another potion to make up for the one that we used. Wonderful. And now that we've got taken care of all the stuff on Route 22, let's head this way. But first, let's check inside this house. What do you have to say, little child? My daddy loves Pokemon too. Good for him. What do you have to say? Coming up with nicknames is fun, but it's not so easy to do. Clever nicknames are nice, but simpler names are easier to remember. I mean, fair enough. Nicknames can be hard for some trainers to use. For a long time, I didn't use nicknames. I just couldn't think of any. Now I just stick to themes usually for them. Also, you might think, oh, there's a gym here. We can challenge this, right? No, this is not a gym you can get to right away. Viridian Gym's doors are closed, and it just kicks you off the ledge. If you talk to the old man, he'll say the gym leader is actually out for some reason. Perhaps another time we can run into him, but for now he seems to just not be there. So instead, let's head up to Route 2. Now, Route 2 does have new encounters, but let's see if we can actually run into one of them right now. I'm willing to bet we probably will, but I could be wrong. Yeah, I figured. Stupid rats. Everywhere. That's just all there is. It's rats as far as the eye can see. It's like a very, very weird book. It's like water everywhere, except it's rats. I would hate to live in that world. But yeah, there are new encounters. Let's go over them. First up on this list would actually be Caterpie, the first bug type of the Johto region, and the first bug type in general that you'll be running into. Bug types early game, you're not going to find much mileage out of them for long term. They're useful in the short term, and that's about it. Caterpie especially is just... its stats are not good. I'll give credit where credit's due. Butterfree is nice. It's decent enough, and you get it very early since it's a stage 3 Pokemon evolution, but you're not going to find much use for it, man. It learns decent enough moves, but it'll fall out of use by the time that you get to later parts of the game. I like Butterfree, at least looks-wise, but it doesn't compare to other bug types from other generations. Heck, even bug types in this gen, there's better ones you can encounter that aren't these two. And speaking of these two, the other one that we can run into is Weedle. Weedle... Beedrill is a different breed. Unlike Butterfree, which is more special attack oriented, Beedrill actually specializes in physical attack, which is nicer, I think, because I'm pretty sure Poison and Bug were both physical in Generation 3, so they actually get stab bonus and it benefits their stats. But you're really not going to see too much use out of either of them. They're just not serving much of a purpose. Like, the most I could say is that you get a little bit of mileage out of using Butterfree for the first gym because it does learn a couple moves to help with that. But if you picked Squirtle or Bulbasaur, you don't need it at all. So really, don't bother. You have better options than you could be running into. Well, if you're the type of person to be going for 100%, feel free to catch everything, because, well, that's your choice, not mine. Rattata may be small, but don't underestimate its wicked bite. Have you caught one already? No, and I don't intend to. Are you going to Viridian Forest? It's a natural maze in there. Be careful you don't get lost. I mean... sounds kind of annoying. Now, technically speaking, Viridian Forest up here is our first dungeon of the game, if you can call it that. If you're familiar with any RPGs, dungeons are just kind of confined areas with a lot of passages and stuff you can run around in. So I guess Viridian Forest qualifies that, but I don't think we're going to be dealing with that this time around. We'll be coming back to that next episode. Next time on Let's Play Pokemon FireRed and LeafGreen, we'll be exploring Viridian Forest and see what lies beyond that. So until next time, ice out.